If you're a football fan, you've seen this scenario play out dozens of times. With less than a minute remaining, a kicker takes the field to attempt a go-ahead field goal. He gauges the conditions and is totally focused on his pre-snap routine. The offensive line drops into stance, and the placeholder readies for the snap. You hold your breath, and the kick is going to have to wait. The opposing team's head coach has just called a timeout, which means the kicker has 30 more seconds to think about it. Yep, he's just been iced. Stressful, right? That's exactly the point. But whether that stress actually affects kickers or the scoreboard is an entirely different matter. I'm Emily Sadler, and this is Sports Explained. Icing, or freezing the kicker, happens when a head coach calls a last-second timeout just before an opponent's field goal attempt, with the intention of throwing off the kicker and breaking his focus. It's not a new strategy. Coaches have been calling timeouts before field goals for years. But icing as we know it today was thrust into the spotlight during a Broncos-Raiders game early in the 2007 NFL season, when Denver head coach Mike Shanahan took advantage of a new rule that allowed coaches to call timeouts from the sideline. So when Shanahan called timeout just before the ball was snapped, none of the players on the field or the fans in the stands realized what had happened until after Raiders kicker Sebastian Janikowski had successfully kicked the ball through the uprights. Janikowski's kick didn't count. Then he missed on his second try, the Broncos won the game, and a new tactic took the league by storm. When asked what goes through a kicker's head when he gets iced, Toronto-based sports psychologist Paul Dennis called it paralysis by analysis. The more you think, the more you become aware of your nerves and exactly what's at stake. But the question remains, does icing really affect wins and losses? Between 2007 and Week 6 of the 2017 NFL season, there were 140 instances of kickers being iced when attempting a field goal in the final 30 seconds of a game, or during overtime, where a successful kick would have tied the game, put his team ahead, or won it altogether. Those field goals had an average distance of 40.7 yards, and 104 of them were successful, just over 74%. For context, we found the average field goal success rate between 2007 and 2017 was 83.8%. Those field goals had an average distance of 37 yards. The iced figure is lower, but factoring in the greater distance and the pressure added by the situation alone, it's impossible to tell how much impact icing really has. There has been talk of the NFL Competition Committee working to eliminate icing in years past, but in a game of inches where clock management and strategic timeouts are so often the difference between winning and losing, it looks like icing is here to stay. And that's Sports Explained, Icing the Kicker. For more great Sportsnet videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.